Hello, very good evening. Welcome to the third episode of Evening Chill. So, for those of you who are not aware of it, we began something on the casual lines. It's a casual chat show where we catch up and then discuss what's actually happening in the week or on the day. And this is the third episode because I think during the pandemic, Arush did a couple of episodes, one with you, Tushar, and one with somebody else. And it was really fun. So we thought, why not continue it? And so we are here today to discuss the reaction of AIB, especially Rohan Joshi, to the unfortunate demise of the legendary comedian Raju Srivastava. Tushar, Arush, thank you so much for joining. First of all, how it's a little surprising because these guys continue to hold relevance even after going out of relevance for so long, right? Because I think social media has enabled that kind of an opportunity today that even if you are somehow cancelled, if you have enough followers on Instagram or on Twitter, you can stir up controversy from time to time and still, make a living for yourself.
Sharan, two, three things. One, I do not believe in the cancel culture, honestly. I do not like the cancel culture. If someone is indeed a problematic person, has committed a crime, the state and the judiciary, they have the power to convict that person. That's as simple. I don't believe in a mob coming together online or offline or canceling someone. That's my personal opinion. Having said that, Rohan Joshi for me is a reminder as to why I'm thankful every day that AIB is dead. I won't mince my words there. Because the kind of insensitivity he shows time and again, it's not just about Raju Srivastava, it's various other occasions. In fact, some political, some economic subjects also. It's fine to disagree with the government. People think that AIB doesn't get the kind of support from the right because of their political leanings. That's not the case. The problem is they just tend to be very insensitive, very crass with how they project themselves. And Rohan Joshi did that. In fact, he actually retracted his comment and he then apologized for whatever he did. But AIB for me has lowered the bar of comedy in India, and I'm glad the backlash Rohan Joshi is getting, because someone needs to call this, for the lack of a better word, hypocrisy or crassness out.
No, even from our side, when the entire roast, controversy happened a few years ago, I still remember it was the, liberal right crowd who actually stood up for them and said, look, it's actually not funny. I don't think you guys are funny. But at the end of the day, if you're telling this is an issue of free speech, then you have all the rights to say something about Farida Jalal or Amitabh Bachchan. They may be offended, but it's not blasphemous per se what you're saying, right? And obviously, it was Arnab Goswami who defended the entire group, and even Tanmay Bhatt on several occasions, if you look at it. So I don't know. I personally feel that the right becomes vilified and demonized from time to time by the same guys, and
That's why
you
I
go on
said, Sharan,
defending
that's
them.
why we both are saying the same thing from a different angle. You do not believe in suppressing someone's right to say whatever they want to say. They might come across as silly or naive or not funny. Their intention might not be communicated, and I do not believe in the cancel culture. So more or less, we both of us are actually saying the same thing, just from different angles. I would love to know what Arush thinks about that, though.
Yeah, Arush, especially because if you have looked at the Instagram comment that Rohan Joshi made, I think it was on Atul Khatri's profile. Atul Khatri was offering condolences, and basically the context was that he never stood up for us. He made fun of us at every junction possible, and so fuck it, he's dead. It was something on those lines. I'm paraphrasing.
So see, there is one thing here. Indian comics, Indian English comics need to make peace with the fact that there might be people who don't find them funny, right? I don't think this simple fact they have been able to, accept this simple fact that there are a large number of people who don't find them funny. And as it happens, the same group, or largely the same people, found Raju hilarious, like his jokes. So see, here's the primary difference between South Bombay English comic and Raju ji. Raju ji never had to, what do you say, explain his jokes. The moment you need to give a context or you need to give a, like an, what do you call, uh, 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 if you need to uh, explain
Right.
your humor, it
Yeah.
is not funny. The joke must land at the very moment that the punchline is given.
Correct.
And and that takes me to one more problem with the with most of the political stand-up comedy in India, mainly in English. See, your punchline has to be fictional, yeah, but the premise of the joke must be 100% factual for the punchline to land. Your premise can't be fictional. Your premise of the
Correct.
joke should not be fact checked. So
Yeah.
the main problem, I think, with the with English political stand-up comedy in India is that, leave alone the punchlines, the premise is wrong
Yeah.
most of the time, and
ये
that's why.
आरुष है ना बहुत sorry go on.
No, go on, please.
ये आरुष ने ना बहुत सही बात कर दी premise की, and no one has been able to explain, but I think Arush has for the first time I have heard this explanation which clearly defines why TVF succeeded and AIB failed, because premise ही एकदम fictitious है. I mean आप 6 साल बाद कॉमेडी के नाम पे बोल रहे हो अरे जीएसटी डिमोनेटाइजेशन ने देश खत्म कर दिया. अतुल खत्री does that. कौन मानेगा?
Correct.
But look at TVF. And TVF also, when it started, I've been following them since their cute Yappa days when they moved to Rudy's video, which was absolute genius mind. It was very funny. But they also came at a point where they were trying to get a little political, but I think they pulled back. And they went into a point where the premise was real. तो आप उनके shows उठा के देखो, आप सारे premise बहुत real हैं, बहुत factual हैं, बहुत connect हो पाते हैं for a Hindi speaking audience also. So I think Arush share for us and for everyone else who always keeps asking, why did TVF work and why did AIB not work? I think Arush has put a brilliant answer to that.
Correct.
See,
No, and there is a
yeah.
No, go ahead.
I'm saying that it's good that he brought up the GST issue. Now, say if I have to write a joke on the GST, I would crack a joke on the lines of constant tinkering with the system, because that is true, that is beyond debate, that is factual. But if you if your joke is based on the fact that the GST has destroyed
Consumed the country,
or destroyed the market, I will not find it funny. And I think there are lakhs of people who might watch that joke or might hear that joke who won't find it funny, because it does not show in the real life that I live.
It's not just finding funny,
Raju,
right? Because
whereas Raju Srivastava, he took slices of ordinary life, completely ordinary life of Agra, Lucknow, Kanpur, Banaras, Ghazipur, Azamgarh, and just minutely observe them. And see, half of his acts didn't even have the jokes. Half of his acts were just the minute, precise observations of daily life of the Hindi heartland that he just act on the stage. And you would laugh because you would have been in those scenarios. You would have seen at least 125 people in your life saying the same accent, doing the same gestures.
No, it's a very important point that you bring up, because the point of relatability is actually a big thing. Obviously, a few of the things, because we are more of a cosmopolitan crowd ourselves, we'll be able to somehow relate and understand what AIB or a TVF is trying to do. But a large part of the rural and the suburban population actually doesn't know what exactly they're talking about, because it's so westernized. And even if it's westernized. My question is that you look at the Western stand-up comics, even in America and the UK and all of these guys, they're actually there is a sense of opposition to the wokeism there itself. Like you look at Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle themselves, irrespective of their political beliefs, they
Javed,
have the gall to stand up to these guys and say, no, what you're doing is absolutely nonsense, right? So we disagree with you. There's nobody. You tell me one guy in the ecosystem apart from Ahmad Sharif or somebody who is big, who has actually gotten there, and who actually can
No, no, no.
openly disagree with these guys.
No, but I think एक चीज है, AIB के jokes में एक vindictiveness दिखता है. If you go back to some of their stand-ups, not the videos they did, they used to be, I mean, some of their social satires were actually decent. But if you look at them at an individual level, the way they have been, and they do a lot of corporate stand-ups, mind you. They did a lot of stand-ups which never made it to YouTube because they were corporate, they were hired and everything.
Okay.
They're vindictive. Their comedy is vindictive. It's like they're angry towards the government. Now, either you can be funny or you can be angry. You can't be both. TVF, their actors or their directors or their artists may have several political leanings. One of them has a communist tattoo even on her sleeve. But it never shows in their sketches. AIB started getting vindictive. And of course, even then they did get some degree of success given the kind of people they got access to eventually and their podcasts and everything. You have to give credit where due. But over a period of time, in hindsight, one can safely conclude that they did lower the bar of comedy in India. Because uske baad kya hua, you had the Amazon Primes and you had the Netflix which picked up these stand-up comedy shows, which were just the same old, you take a premise, which is again, as Arush said, not even factual. Our economy khatam ho gayi, intolerance pe joke bata diya. I mean, at one point it started getting like repetitive almost. Ki aap copy hi kar rahe ho na? You're just rehashing, you're just paraphrasing.
Correct.
And you're also being vindictive. तो या तो आप डिसाइड कर लो कि आपको गुस्सा निकालना है, कि आपकी फेवरेट सरकार नहीं है, या आपका फेवरेट लीडर प्राइम मिनिस्टर नहीं है, या आपको फनी होना है. You can't be doing both. And that is where these old comedies, I'll recommend something. Sunil Pal is another comedian who came with Raju Srivastava. There is a YouTube video of him mimicking Nana Patekar, with Nana Patekar sitting in the audience. You should just simply search Sunil Pal, Nana Patekar in the YouTube and it will come up. 1.5 minute ka clip. He imitates Nana Patekar. In fact, Nana Patekar hosted ABC. Absolute genius. Okay, it's funny. People are laughing their hearts out. यहाँ क्या होता है, अंग्रेजी joke, and if you do not, and if you say that this female comedian is not funny, the feminazis will come for you. If you say this male comedian is not funny, the left liberals will come for you. Get tum to politically intolerant, to insan jayega. You can't even call them unfunny, right? So it's a very big problem.
No,
but
even in Comicstaan and a lot of these, just because they want that particular gender represented, and in theory we're all for it. But you look at the kind of quality of the comics that these people are producing, it's actually quite terrible. And you were talking about
cringe Instagram handles are funnier, Sharan. Cringe Instagram handles are funnier. I have no qualms in saying that. I watch Instagram reels as a break, as a guilty pleasure. Cringe Instagram handles are funnier than English stand-up comedians in India. Yeah. I mean it.
As far as this bias is concerned, because I think the prominence of the political bias that groups like AIB had, it came into the forelight, especially during demonetization and GST, as Arush and you both were telling. But I think it predates their success. You look at, I think it was 2013 or 2014. They released a parody video called "Thank You Dear Congress" or something like that. It was a really funny video. And in that, they show the right-wingers to be, these goons who will curb all freedom of speech or something. And I think
premise galat hai na. Arush ne wahi cheez boli, fir se premise galat hai.
So already you're saying that, the next 5 years you can expect a certain type of comedy from AIB because they're already saying aise sab kuch hoga desh mein.
See, actually, that is what happened in the US. By the time Donald Trump's term ended, there were many people saying that, stand-up comedy in the US has gotten boring because you are only cracking Trump jokes. You are not going beyond Trump.
Correct.
So, I mean, there's a cost. If you want to target your, your favorite topic and keep doing that for 5 years, there's a cost to it.
Yeah.
People will stop finding you funny.
Yeah. And also it's
I think there is
I think the
one more thing.
yeah.
No, please go on.
No, please go on.
No, I'm saying one thing where where Raju stood apart from the English comics of India is that there was no punching up or punching down uh, in his comedy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sharan.
No. You bring up a very important point, because if you look at a lot of these, tournaments or any of these Comicstaan type of, events that are conducted, there are certain parameters that they use to judge, and there's a lot of, I think, theoretical application of comedy to the parameters. Arush, are we good?
There are some windows popping up on my screen. I think now we are good.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can.
Yeah, okay.
Sharan, start from the question you were starting, the theoretical application.
Yeah, so there are certain parameters that many of these events actually have, right? Competitions actually have. And like you said, the punching up and punching down, a lot of these are very Western concepts, and these are applied. So I think more than bringing some nuance into comedy, I think they fairly limit it. Like if you look at the 8 or 10 participants in the last 2 seasons of Comicstaan, there were 1 or 2 people who were not very comfortable with their English. So and you look at the kind of judges that are there, they're largely English speakers, and they can barely, I think, apart, Zakir Khan is used as that one person for representation's sake, I think, just because whenever Hindi speaker comes there. So it's completely different from that of a regional comedy scene if you look at it.
And see,
it's very South Mumbai.
Yeah.
And see,
go on.
That is fine. Everybody has the right to make the shows that they want, and if you have the friends who have the money and you have a few people who agree with your worldview, please make your show. Please try and sell it to Netflix, Hotstar, or any OTT platform. The problem comes when you start to judge me for not laughing at your jokes. That is the issue.
पर ये भी बोल सकते हैं ना, वो भी हमारा free speech है कि we can tell that you're not funny and how can you get offended, because if you can point fingers, I'm just playing the devil's advocate here, by the way, because the obvious and the justifiable defense for what Rohan Joshi's comments were can be the same. It can be that free speech hai hamara, we can tell that he's not funny when he can tell that he's not funny.
I mean, no one see, again, Sharan, we started this conversation there. No one is stopping them from being ridiculous, naive or silly. Yeah. These people still write award shows. Ye film fair hote hain kai baar, and look at the standard of those shows, where it has come down to. Now no one even cares if the film award show is going on. Of course,
actors don't care.
Huh?
Actors don't care.
Actors don't care.
I always believe, I don't believe in suppressing any player for whatever they do. The market will take care of it. We never say that suppress this, suppress that. Roast hua, hone do. Aapka pehla roast pe aisa market ka reaction aa gaya. You never had a second one, right? Yeah. So it's all about how they want to project themselves. And again, talking about Comicstaan and judging and Evo, the problem is people who are judging Comicstaan are the people who are not very funny themselves. Yeah. I mean, Malika Dua used to be one of the judges, if I'm not wrong.
I think so.
She's not funny. She's just vindictive, honestly. And I'll be honest, these are not bad people or bad actors. Sorry, not bad people, bad actors or bad comedians. They just got so vindictive in their comedy, which is diluting whatever they wanted to do. Maybe they actually would have ended up as great comedians. We wouldn't know ever now, because they got their political vindictiveness to dilute their art. You see where I'm going?
Correct.
TVF did not go there. Raju Srivastava, Sunil Pal, there was a Qureshi fellow, I remember, Great India Laughter Challenge mein. Look at Kapil Sharma. Now, a lot of people, English-speaking people, do not understand his comedy, but the man has become a household name. So much that Nandita Das is doing a movie with him. Nandita Das, of all people, is doing a movie with Kapil Sharma. So this is like two very different worlds coming together. So,
Yeah, I agree.
No, Tushar. Oh my God, what happened to my audio all of a sudden? Yeah. No, especially talking about this regional comedy scene, even in Karnataka, I can only give you that context. There are a few comedians like Richard Lewis and Gangavati Pranesh. When they perform, there is an audience of 1 and 2 lakh people who gather. The whole, they come from neighboring villages. They go from town to town. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
we can hear you.
Okay, there was some audio issue. Sorry. Yeah. No, something's wrong. Hello. Yeah.
you are.
So they actually come from villages, and then they gather there, and there's a huge audience. I mean, you cannot think of any English comic, regardless of how popular they are on social media, the ability to unite people like that.
Absolutely.
And if you look at it, I think there's a careful. You look at the kind of topics that these the regional comics choose to speak about, and the English comics speak about. It's completely different. Here you're looking for controversy. Here you're looking to somehow show your valor and your boldness and all of that. It actually
rebel. They want to be a rebel.
Yeah, and
the word is Sharan. The word you're looking for is a rebel. They want to be a rebel without a cause. That's why the vindictiveness. That's why the seeking of controversies. That's why this factual, fictitious premise. So, वो सारी कहानी है.
Yeah, and then even in spite of whatever Munawar Farooqi will do, Kangana Ranaut will always entertain him on the show. Look, we are back to square one.
Yeah, that is one more symbol of.
That is a discussion for another day. Reality
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I have very strong views on that. Maybe not for this.
Yeah.
Recording.
Both of us, for that matter. No, but Sharan, my final points, in this would be that one, AIB did lower the bar for comedy in India, and in fact, by doing that, they increased the level, or rather the, a lot of people who were coming from the second and third tier towns or villages, उनके लिए और मुश्किल हो गया कॉमेडी सीन में घुसना, क्योंकि उनको लगा इंग्लिश बोलना चाहिए, पॉलिटिकली एक व्यू पॉइंट होना चाहिए, ऐसे सोचना चाहिए. But thank God there is a TVF, though I am not a great fan of TVF, but I like what they're putting out. People like what they're putting out, and they have struck some great deals with some very good, OTT platforms, including Amazon and Netflix. So, लोगों को वो पसंद आ रहा है. That's a testament to the fact that people are rejecting this very elitist form of comedy, which is plagued with vindictiveness. Kapil Sharma is another example, and the way people will remember Raju Srivastava is, a lesson for all the budding comedians out there, that you don't really have to be vindictive all the time. You can be, just you.
I think the greatest classic example of TVF being political and still being able to pull off is when I think Biswa did that Arnab series. It's a parody. And they were able to get Chetan Bhagat, everybody, and they laughed at their face. They abused them. They got Kejriwal on the show. And I think people somehow agree because, deep down, they know that they're not vindictive, like you said. They're still respectful of you. They respect you, but they want to make fun of you.
Exactly.
Vishwapati got one with Shah Rukh Khan, of all people. That was big.
That was good. And funny.
No, but I don't know if they got Shah Rukh Khan, because these days, from what I hear from my friends in the comic scene, actively the marketing agencies make sure that they go for some promotions or things like that.
But they became big enough, Sharan, for the marketing agencies to come for them, right?
Yeah. Arush, parting thoughts, and then
parting thoughts would be, I would urge everybody watching this clip to go on YouTube and search Raju Srivastav mimicking Mulayam Singh Yadav. It is the funniest clip perhaps on YouTube. I perhaps do not know of a funnier thing on YouTube. It is hilarious. And if you know how Mulayam Singh Ji speaks, you will find it even fun.
I will check it
So
out.
that is my parting thought. That
No,
is
and
my parting
I didn't know the story of Raju ji. And today, I was just doing some research. He actually comes from a very, very simple family. He came to
Yeah,
Bombay
yeah,
all the way from
yes,
Kanpur or something.
yes.
And
And
I
he
think it
worked
was
for
in one
years, and he did some, very bit roles
menial
in
jobs. Yeah.
Hindi films
Yeah.
for long
Oh.
years.
He used
Yeah,
to
yeah,
perform at orchestras and all of that. So you
correct.
cannot have one English comic actually relate that experience. Not one.
No, no.
So
So I
maybe
can
it's
recall the Rajshri movie, a very terrible Rajshri movie which had Raju Srivastava, I think.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Now that
I
Arush
think
mentions, I can recall, yes.
I think I know which one.
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
think I know which one.
Yeah.
But deepest condolences to Rajuji's family and everyone. And I think the nation's lost a great talent. Thank you so much, Arush, Tushar, for joining. It's always fun to talk to you.
Thanks. Thanks, Sharan.
Thank
Thanks.
you. And please do let us know what you thought about this in the comment section below. This is your host, Sharan, signing off.